Hello, Polytopians. Thanks for tuning in to the Polytopian Times. I'm your host, Sam, and today we've got a fun little replay between me and Tan. Just a quick one-off with some special rules. Specifically, we could only produce warriors and archers in our cities as far as standard units production goes. Of course, we could get giants and stuff out of ruins still, but it certainly helped keep things fresh and different from the normal pace. Anyways, I am over here playing as the white Hoodrick, while Tan is playing as our standard brown Hoodrick color. He's got himself a vast spot on the northern part of the lake. A lot of land there, but not so many cities spread out currently. Meanwhile, I've got a bit of a watery start, but I've got a little land bridge I'm able to go exploring around there. Tan's going for a couple of explorers just to give him some decent vision over what's going on. You know, you can definitely see there's a lot of opportunity here on the western side of the map. Or sorry, the eastern side of the map. Whereas I'm off towards the west, and he's not quite sure what's out there. But he can see that I'm just about to move on that village before he can get there. And I've got myself quite a turn coming up. And quite a bit of expansion, already up at 7 stars per turn. Meanwhile, Tan's already up at 9 stars per turn. Definitely has been pushing out some more eco, and with that lumber hut, from forestry, it's going to be able to push out a good bit more eco, rolling those 5 stars back just to push up his economy. So overall, a strong turn. Let's see, we're finishing up here at 12 stars versus my 7 stars at the start of the turn, up till 9 right now, 10. Of course, I've got a lot of fish, so I'll be able to get a lot done with fishing. But alas, I did not go for forestry, so that'll have to come a little later on down the line. Mind you, I've got an explorer off, and I've been able to build up my economy a bit, so I have 13 stars per turn now. And with these stars I get from meeting Tan, I'm able to pop out another explorer, get a little bit more vision, and just do a little more work upgrading my cities. At this point, none of the new ones I've found are unupgraded anymore. Mind you, Tan's got every other city up a level further than mine, but I've just made contact with him, and I can see a whole bunch of the map now, so that's going to give me an edge in our fight. Things have sort of switched around completely in terms of competitive vision. Mind you, Tan's already coming in with a strike on one of my cities. But at this point, I was able to see it the turn prior, so I'm able to retaliate. He's trying to expand around towards the west and the north, on the northern side of that lake there. But I'm able to push back, reclaim my territory, and basically nerf his earliest out. I'm able to get into Ryberic, which is going to be, it's going to be a bit of a push. See, that's a nice, important city, and they could change the balance of the fight here. Of course, Tan's going to do what he can to try and push me back, but unfortunately just doesn't have anything in range for that. So I'm going to take the city. And first blood in terms of conquest is going to go towards me. Now, I understand I'm going to lose this unit next turn, but that's quite all right. Damage has been done. Tan's found himself another new village off to the western side of the map there. And, of course, he's just deploying a bunch of archers so he can shoot everything down, take Ryberic, and push in. He's also trying to get rid of my swordsman. It's the only one I'm going to have for the game, likely, so the sooner it's gone, the better. Of course, I'm going to try and just do anything I can with it to try and obstruct reinforcements out, but, we're going to hold on. I've got some roads that'll help me get reinforcements around the map. Of course, Tan's already had some roads. So we're really just keeping pace with each other in terms of tech for the most part. I'm up at, let's see. I'll wait till the end of the turn and compare economies then. Doing a big push, just a lot of focus on upgrading all my cities. It's been a lot of expansion. It's time to solidify those claims. And with all these level ups, I am able to push out and not only get a whole bunch of vision on the map, and at this point, that explorer was real lucky. I got very definitive vision. I'm also at, 23 stars per turn? Let's see. 22 stars per turn at the end of this turn. So, overall looking pretty sound here. Tan, unfortunately, only has 13 stars per turn. He's kind of hemmed in a lot fewer expansion opportunities than I had after I got around that land bridge. So he's just trying to push me back, see if he can't take Rybrick back. That would really help on terms of expansion and economy for him. He doesn't want to grab the southern village. He's trying to push some units south, take out my sword, and just sort of close down the that eastern flank entirely. And there goes my sword, just getting one last swing in while I could. It was dead that turn anyways. And, yep, got walls up in Rybrick. That's going to make it a much more difficult fight. I'm also able to throw up an archer. Now, I do this specifically so when I'm getting bombarded from a range, I can weaken the forces that are bombarding me. So it's not just a flat toll. Like, a warrior wouldn't be able to respond, and you just take a lot of damage without dealing any. The archer with walls is capable of living a couple of shots out and weakening all the archers that are shooting at him, meaning the next turn when he tries that, they'll have a much more difficult time of it. Now, with that explorer, you can see I'm about to nab that village, and there's not really any expansion opportunities past that available, so definitely wants to grab that westernmost village. Of course, I'm trying to push out and just keep up archer spam of my own to counter the archer spam that's coming out with Lego. And I'm trying to sneak up some forces to pop out and contest the capture over here in the far east. Interesting that the east and the west are the two spaces with open areas. I've also got my first giant out to try and give Tan some extra pressure. With my sword gone, maybe that super unit could make more of a difference. Meanwhile, Tan's got a horde of archers just trying to break me down and take back that central city. And he's also trying to push and grab some of these open villages here. You know, he's got an archer off to push on the west. He's got an archer already on the village out to the east. Rolling in on those stars here, up at 17 stars per turn. I'm at 25 stars per turn right now, so sitting fairly pretty. Meanwhile, we've got lots of combat going on in that center village by Rybrick. And I'm just trying to hold down my new gains in Olol. Can't tell that there's anything else out in the fog, but I suspect that there is. Meanwhile, Tan is almost certainly going to nab this village out far in the east. So, you know, I basically see the entire map now and realize that there's only one spot left to really contest here. And it's time to farm out some more giants, so there goes my second giant. And Tan can see that giant, so he's going to push into a lull over here in the west, and he's going to claim that city over in the east. And you can see I trimmed all the trees down there in an effort to nerf the impact it could give on the battlefield. Tan's pushing out a whole bunch of archers, just trying to overwhelm what I've built up. And now he's going to start leveling up and getting some giants of his own. It is time to counter-push what I've pushed out, after all. And with some strategic chopping there, he's got himself two giants out on the same turn. One right on the border of Rybrick and ready to try and push back into it. Meanwhile, I'm just desperately trying to lock down my earnings here. You know, it's a lot of territory. And, you know, you want to hold on to every speck of it, because opening up a new front, giving Tan an advantage, could take what my lead I have, and it could make it a little nerfed. I certainly don't want to lose Rybrick, for example. It'll be hard to take that walled city back with just warriors, archers, and a giant. Although not quite as hard as one might think. I'm at 29 stars per turn at the end of this turn. I'm sieging into that city in the east. Tan is sitting on 19 stars per turn, with obviously a notable limit in what cities he can access militarily at this point, as there's no expansion opportunities left. He's throwing out quite a bit of archer spam still, just trying to pressure me, and he's going to get that giant moving out towards Rybrick in as close as he can. And he wants to see if he can't push into Olol. At this point, it seems like archer spam is the way to go, especially seeing as Verdun is lost. Now, he did manage to trim down all the trees to try and limit my expansion opportunity, which means Verdun would be a net negative in terms of increasing my tech costs without giving me any benefit otherwise. But I'm more than happy to sink that cost. It's, in my eyes, I see it as worthwhile. And there we go. We've got a lot of archer conflict. Just trying to make the most of my little warrior there. Really, for me, it's just holding the line while I get some of my heavier units into play and whittle down his forces through attrition. I'm hoping, since I'm on the defensive, I can yield some of these defense bonuses to give me a bit of an advantage. on the walled cities specifically. But, you know, you have to keep up a strong offense at this point. Dan's trying to eliminate what giants he can see, so I've got to run my one giant in the east down south so he can go and heal some. Meanwhile, I've got a lot of pressure on a lull that I'm trying to push back on as well. I'm going to place that giant in the middle, strategically behind Rybrick to, you know, give myself a little fortification and run my other giant behind Gloya. He's going to go and heal up there for a while. And in the meantime, I'm going to let my archer and warrior spam begin to overwhelm the front. The plan is to push towards Ikik, and from there I can push towards Walego, and that should take away some pressure from Rybrick, which has clearly had it for quite a while. We've at this point got 2 giants from Tan ready to push into that city. I'm about to have a giant outside of the borders ready to push back. Of course, he's at risk because the archers are going to attack him, as well as just one of them being necessary to attack the warrior and Rybrick, or it could be 2, I forget. They're not all full health anymore. I've made sure of that. So at this point, we're opening up with the conflict in a lull, of course. Tan's just trying to win this attrition fight and sneak up closer and closer. I do need to do something about that, otherwise I will lose that western front, and that flank could be a problem for me. He's also got a giant into Rybrick and another full health, 40 health giant lined up outside, so this is getting very pressing. My right-hand flank might not hold out in the east. You know, if I lose Rybrick, that could really turn the momentum of this fight against me. So priority number 1 is just weakening the giant there so I can get mine into the city and then doing as much damage as possible to the other giant, understanding they're absolutely going to try and put that giant into the city as well. Beyond that, I want to see if I can't damage whatever archers I can reach or just in general put some pressure up. If I am attacking Ikik, it is a lot less likely that, you know, archers from that direction can come and help in the fight by Rybrick. Tan's now throwing the remainder of his archer horde at Rybrick just to get that giant in. He needs to get me as weak as possible, so it's a one-shot on in. And that would be Crusher if I hadn't been planning for this. You see, we were all on the same wavelength again. Tan's pushing to the sea so he can flank me with ships. Likewise, the turn prior, I also saved up and got sailing, but as a contingency, as I saw Rybrick was definitely going to be lost. My only way out here is if I level up the city. To do that, I'm going to need a port. Now, unfortunately for Tan, I don't think he predicted this. That means I'm going to save my city. I had a monument also sitting to the wayside, just in case of a situation like this. And with that, he doesn't have another giant he can pull out easily, meaning I am the only one with the super unit, and I'm pushing up on that eastern flank now. Ikik's already pressured, and unfortunately, the fight over by Wallow and Lil didn't work out either. And here I am, just really doing some hefty damage. At this point, Tan's kind of sunk in. There's not really any winning route out of this. Too much pressure out by Ikik for him to get through it without saying knights, and we were both just sweating thinking about how great it would be to have one knight to take care of some of these hordes of archers. But unfortunately, you know, rules of the game, it wouldn't be interesting if we were to throw out a bunch of knights. So instead, we wound up with this very interesting primitive attrition warfare. The Stone Age style fights of Polytopia, or I guess the Bronze Age would be a better equivalent. So Tan's just trying to push out as much as he can. At this point, it's, again, quite clear that the fight's lost, so not going too crazy, not going to rush out any giants. Prolonging the inevitable is not going to be fun for anyone, but yeah. So I'm just going to wipe out all the resistance I have around Rybrick, you know, kill off that last giant permanently, and, you know, might as well leverage my port. So, you know, amongst other things, I am planning on sending my giant off in there. Of course, I'm trying to vet up as many archers as possible as well. And with the seas free, my giant can now go in the water. Might as well. And there's not a lot left of this fight. It's just going to be crushing through what little resistance remains. My one giant in the south there who was hiding away, he's finally getting back into the fight, although it's a bit late. I've got a third one coming out too, finally. Of course, Tan's going to get in whatever strikes he can, but there's just not a lot left at all that can do anything here. So, I'm an Ikik. I'm going to push through and get a shot off on Logo and get my giant on in there. Wrapping up the net as I move in towards the capital. Really, the last two cities to get are Wallow and Wallago, or Wallago. Not a lot that Tan can do to keep me back at this point. Getting in what strikes I can. Next turn I'll be able to get into Wallow and Wallago. And of course, Dan's understanding and is basically just going to resign at this point with the playthrough. Let me take the cities and walk in the turn after. And we can skip through towards the end. So that was a really fun game. It was good to get it in a game with Tan after a long time. And I check out a little bit of the new beta replay thing. Hoodrick killed on turn 23. Nice little note there along with the ELO changes. So, yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks, as always, for tuning in, and until next time, see ya.